Gate number 7 is in the direction of looking forward, and it is the halfway point between the summer solstice and the fall equinox. So you can look at that as a check-in point as we are in the fullness of summer. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you are in Leo season, so things are in bloom, they're in bud. You are really stepping into getting to know yourself and sharing that authenticity with others. And now we're starting to prepare for the next chapter to come, leading towards that fall equinox, of being able to put some things to an end, to really examine, how was that journey through the last couple of months? Are we still in alignment to the direction we wish to head? Are there things that are now coming to a completion to make room for something new to come? So it's a natural process of both endings and beginnings, and also really looking at the role of the self. So the role of the individual and the role of the group, and really seeing how that plays out in relationships. If everybody's kind of moving towards a common goal, a common interest, if there's anything that needs some amendment in there, if things are progressing in the direction that is for the highest good. So we are very much stepping into a leadership role. And it is a leadership that comes with a sense of authority. So the authority meaning that you may be expressing from the voice the direction forward, laying out the goals, maybe doing some planning already for the fall, maybe really speaking through the voice of yourself of what you're wanting to work on, what your vision is for the family, for the workplace, for the community, and really kind of getting this sense of gathering people together in order to establish a common ground, a common understanding, a vision for that group, to then start planning what it takes to move forward from here. It also carries a sense of organizing. So if you have gate number 7 in your human design chart, you may naturally be a good organizer or tend to really like things being organized. You're not afraid to jump in there and take responsibility for organizing your own life, your own schedule, and maybe you take it to the extreme and you do that for others as well. Now, that can be a beautiful thing if they are on board and they're looking for that guidance. We're going to see when we talk about the shadow how that can be an interference when we step in to do something for somebody else that they know how to do for themselves. It's also really important for us to do a check-in to see if we're trying to be too super independent. And we are raised in a culture that is competitive by nature. It does teach us that every man and woman is for themselves, and to really kind of put us in a role of comparing ourselves to one another. At the detriment to that comes a willingness for a lot of people to try to take everything on themselves. And we want to start moving together into more harmony, more unity, in this case, more uniformity. So bringing people in to help support certain initiatives and really leaning on the benefits of working as a team, as a unit, and building that rapport and camaraderie that comes when you have something that's very passionate and exciting, or it's just that sense of knowing the difference that it will make in the lives of yourself and with others. So having shared consensus is very important in order to move forward. If you don't have people on board moving in the direction that you're sensing is for that highest good, then there's going to be a lot of pushback. There's going to be a lot of resistance in there. So if you're wanting to really maximize the energy flow, the excitement, having that clarity and having people on your team that is sharing that vision with you and that understand their role, they're feeling good about their own contributions to that. There's this sense of everybody is a leader and everybody is a follower. So there's not just one person that is dominating how things should be done, but instead, there's this commonality where it's really recognizing that everybody has something of value to bring to the table, to bring to the family, to bring to the workplace, and really kind of highlighting that within the group cohesive. So you may be somebody who really does that well. You really bring people together to highlight their specific skills. And others may be drawn to you for your advice, for your guidance. They may have a thought and vision for themselves, and they're really seeking some input or some clarity from somebody who just has that forward momentum or is always kind of moving themselves into the next phase. Being clear on where you're headed is super, super important. But beyond being clear about it, it's also knowing why. Why am I heading in that direction? And it can be very easy to have our blinders on and believe that we should be doing something. And we get so stuck in our plans and we get so stuck in our to-do list that we're not seeing all these other possibilities that are around us. And that's where bringing people into the team to do that brainstorming is so important. It's equally important for yourself to look at multiple viewpoints. Don't just stay stuck on your plan, but consider space for everything else. When I was in my career as an executive assistant, it was a very busy, demanding job. And I used to plan for the interruptions. And what that meant was there were so many moving parts. There was meetings to be scheduled. There were reports to be done. There were multiple people to look after. And I could guarantee that during my day, I would be spending more time putting out fires and having to be flexible than I was really focusing on projects. So my plan, that calendar, became a space where there was room to tweak, to shift things around, to really look forward, to see what was coming and to start slowly building things along the way so that there wasn't just this overwhelming sense of everything has to be done right now. So knowing for yourself why you're doing something, why you're putting in the effort, where it's ultimately leading towards, is it for your highest good? Are you repeating some patterns that you repeated last year? And this is your reminder to, oh, I'm trying to plan everything out once again, and it didn't go so well for me in that context. There might be a lot of things coming up right now where you're wanting to schedule some excitement into your life. It is the summer months. Things may be going a little bit slower, and maybe you are already anticipating the busyness of the fall. So really getting clear on why the need to plan, what is moving you forward. Are you already feeling an anxious anxiety or a pressure that you have to do something, in which case it is draining that energy? And can you look at the version of you in that scenario to really see, is that for the highest good? So you may be feeling some pressure for yourself in this energy to try to bring everything together, to try to hold on to some control. And perhaps you are stepping into quite the authoritarian, whereas you're needing to learn to cultivate some greater leadership skills, which means building that relationship from your higher self to know who's leading the way. And ultimately, that is the question for all of us. And it's interesting as we go through the teachings of human design, branching then into the gene keys, and we really look at some coaching tools, is we always want to know who's leading the way. Is this my shadow leading the way, meaning your fears are trying to drive the way, your patterns of behavior, your comfort zone? Or is your higher self, your light, shining a direction for you where you just know beyond know to head in that way, even though you may not know what that looks like? So that does come with a deep sense of trusting oneself and really stepping into the clarity of the vision, knowing who is running the show, being very considerate of everybody else in that relationship. Is that going to enhance everybody's skill set? Is it for the common good? Is this going to be of benefit for the tribe? So we're really stepping into some very strong leadership skills here that is going to have us questioning ourselves.